my name is H Shuster. I am a technology architect with H Systems, and I have a background in technology going back until probably the age of 14 when I used to work alongside, on evenings and weekends, other technology consultants where I grew up in Ottawa. Since then, I've allowed my career to grow, taking on various positions or whatnot. To this time, I have pretty much specialized in the area of data center migration and user computing, virtualization technologies, but I do have a fairly strong background in other areas, including Microsoft technologies, networking to a degree, messaging, Microsoft Exchange, so on and so forth, as well as general systems administrative capabilities. To date, I have over 30 certifications in the field of information technology, including an infrastructure diploma, and also, oddly enough, a post-secondary degree in culinary management. I found out about NetSoft when one of my colleagues at a bank in Toronto recommended NetSoft to me while I was working with him a number of years ago. He did understand from some conversations that we'd had that I felt I was plateauing a bit and wanted to start enlisting in educational courses to further my career and further my knowledge. And he recommended NetSoft, a location that he'd also been attending for a number of years, and took it from there. Probably about a dozen. I engaged when I got into NetSoft in a number of different technology tracks, not only just to find out what I particularly was going to be best suited for when I looked to specialize in different fields of technology, but also just to satisfy some curiosities. I do believe that, especially as one is looking to grow their technology portfolio in terms of their education, as well as if they're looking towards becoming getting into more of a senior role, such as that of an architect or a management consultant, it is important to have a good understanding, maybe not an expert understanding, of multiple technologies commonly found in organizational technology infrastructures. I myself took numerous tracks, including Microsoft Core Infrastructure tracks, Microsoft Exchange track, and of course the infamous Citrix track, alongside some VMware trainings as well. NetSoft training quality is unique. I'll give it that much. It's top notch. I've gone to a number of technology institutes, both before NetSoft and both after, due to other requirements of my job. But definitely NetSoft stands out, whereas a lot of institutes that I would attend prior were very focused on corporate style technology training, where it's pretty much a come in, train, you get it, you don't, whatever, thank you very much. Course is over, and you're usually lasting through it in a week. NetSoft's style of training is dramatically different, both in the sense of the time and the intention that you get from the instructors to delivering the information, especially in a manner that is very, very good for a number of different learning styles, but also the fact that they reduce the pace quite a bit. So this is not a place where one comes in and takes a Microsoft course and you're done in 1 week, but you're doing it over a longer period of time to make sure that you're fully absorbing it, and in many occasions are able to actually retake the course to further and solidify that knowledge. The other thing about NetSoft that stands out against most other places is that a lot of NetSoft, because it's largely catered to the individual and their individual learning, the schedules are very accommodating. Evenings, weekends, or whatnot, you're able to better your career skills in information technology, or do a complete career shift from an existing career path to information technology, alongside, in many cases, or almost all cases from my experience and observations, an existing career that you may have, an existing job you may have, which is fantastic. One thing I've definitely found about NetSoft in terms of the trainers is they do tend to be very consistent. They are trained in a particular manner that gives both a particular focus on important training styles to that works with multiple types of individual learning capabilities, but beyond that, NetSoft has a very large focus on personal development, which is something you'll probably never find in another training institute, at least not one that I've seen, where there's a very strong personal development component of it that really helps inspire the students to go for more, not just in their career, but in their lives, and improve their lives, and improve their mental health, which is something that really goes hand in hand if you're looking to accelerate your career, change your career path, or really move up. And that's something that is very much entrenched in the training methodology that the NetSoft trainers have, and that's something I've rarely seen elsewhere. So that is a huge step up compared to a lot of other institutes that I've had the opportunity to work with. Well, they're definitely intensive and they're definitely comprehensive. As I mentioned before, NetSoft will commonly take a standard training program from an IT academy, VMware, Citrix, Microsoft, and stretch it out in such a way that an individual has a better chance of fully absorbing it, as well as being able to retake that course, which really adds to the comprehensiveness. Beyond that, NetSoft will take these trainings, from what I've seen in many cases, above and beyond, and have students perform additional labs, additional exercises, or whatnot, to further complement the standardized training from the IT academy, Citrix, Microsoft, or whatnot, their curriculum. But beyond that, a lot is expected of you. There's often times where homework is given, or we're doing a crash course from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. Or whatnot to just completely refresh all the information in a particular course prior to going and writing an exam. So definitely comprehensive, but definitely intensive, but very exciting. That's another good question. I, quite frankly, am very grateful for NetSoft and how their instructors worked with me many years ago when I first got involved in NetSoft. The reason being was I came to NetSoft looking for just to take a course, better my education. What I didn't realize at the time, that I was walking into an environment with a sense of community, but also supported by trainers who really were able to open my eyes to better understand the real potential of a career in information technology, and honestly, looking back, how small my view of IT was at the time, even when I was working and running a team of IT admins in a well-established bank here in Canada. Even despite those accomplishments, they made me realize that I could do more, and they inspired me with their own stories of their successes, which really caused a paradigm shift in my head that just pretty much changed everything in my life in terms of my career, my focus on my personal life, and my goals. My goals went from being very small to fairly lofty, having 5-year plans, and being able to strategize through my goals and my career goals, certifications, targeting my next jobs or whatnot, that was really able to help me accelerate my career in a good amount of time and move forward and provide some great accomplishments. And it's not just career-wise, personal life, it's done fantastic things as well. Through the general sense of inspiration from stories from other people at NetSoft and instructors, I personally have been able to start an investment firm where I do a lot of real estate investing, own a house, own an Aston Martin. I'm getting another car, but beyond that, I mean, it's really enabled me to change my way of thinking, and a way of thinking that beyond advancing my career has really allowed me to further my life goals and my quality of life, which is something that I don't think I probably would have gotten elsewhere. NetSoft has a great setup for that, actually. Not only has one of the instructors written a book on the subject, but there's actually, as part of a number of their programs, diploma programs or whatnot, there's actually a component specifically in there for career development in terms of resume writing and interview preparation or whatnot, which I think is super, super important. There is a number of individuals out there who obviously get very nervous when it comes time to doing a job interview, or may lack the skills necessary to write an effective resume. I've seen it time and time again. I've QA'd and interviewed a number of people, QA'd a number of resumes and interviewed a number of people over the course of my career, both for my company and on behalf of other companies that have asked me to do so. And it's quite a large variation. But the one thing that I have seen is that there seems to be a lot of nervousness amongst folks, especially just getting initially into the field of IT that are looking for their first job, and having this type of program that really grooms people on how to write effective resumes, what to focus on, because it's really, especially in this field, you're selling yourself and your capabilities. It's almost like a piece of it's like a sales brochure, and it's important that the language is effective and the layout is effective. But especially in interviews, the way NetSoft goes about their interview prep system really helps give a lot of confidence to people. It really helps them get more comfortable. And again, as far as interviews go, I mean, there will always be instances where people may not get a job from an interview or whatnot, but the more interviews one takes, whether it's practice interviews within NetSoft or interviews out there in the field, the more interviews you take, the more you learn, the more comfortable you get. But the fact that NetSoft has an area specifically within their IT development programs and diplomas for those career development skills, specifically for interviews and resumes, is quite wonderful. It's quite valuable, and it's very effective. What have I learned here that I'm most proud of? Probably, just in general, that when you set your mind to something and you set goals, anything can happen. That is probably the one biggest thing I've taken away from here. Even the act of writing down goals, whether it was certifications that I want to achieve, levels in my career that I want to achieve, income that I wish to get, or other life goals in terms of health or material achievements, property, love life, whatnot. The act of setting goals and being able to focus your mind on these things has probably been the most important thing I've got out of NetSoft. NetSoft's education has helped me tremendously, and it's been a privilege to be a student of NetSoft as well as an instructor. But it's NetSoft's opening my mind to the possibilities of what one can do with their life, especially once one sets goals and achieves those goals, and then are able to look beyond that and set new, even larger goals, has been what's been most important to me and what I've most importantly got out of NetSoft. For those that know me, you would assume I would probably jump out and say Citrix, because Citrix is the, coming into NetSoft, I did have some Citrix exposure through my work, but it's when I actually started to work with Citrix certifications and trainings at NetSoft that my career really took off, and I chose to specialize in addition to into VMware, into Citrix. And as I'm now known as one of the leading Citrix authorities in Canada, most people would assume I'd say Citrix. That being said, the course that I would say I got the most out of at NetSoft probably would be the Active Directory course. It may be a baseline course as an entry-level course or whatnot, but it was the first course I took, and it's the course that allowed me to perform a paradigm shift in my head, and let alone it was a great training. So it really helped me out as a stepping stone to everything else that I've done at NetSoft and outside of NetSoft from a training perspective, for sure. But that, I think, is probably the best course I took, just because it was that initial course that opened my eyes, opened my mind, and acted as a career stepping stone into other areas. Why would I recommend NetSoft? I'll tell you why. It's probably one of the most effective educational institutes that I've ever come across. And I've been through the public education system. I've worked with a couple of universities. I have taken IT training at a number of other competing institutes and companies. And again, the one thing NetSoft has that others don't, aside from that great community and that career support, is that level of inspiration that you get when you work with these, you work in this community and you work with the trainers that NetSoft provides. They ingrained into you so much about personal development, not just for career development, but for your life, that I think, yeah, you won't get that most other places. In fact, you probably won't even get it in most conventional post-secondary education institutes. And I think that's so important, because I think that's the edge that makes NetSoft's training so effective. Is it's not just the great content in the courses and how they're delivered, and the extras that come out with the courses or whatnot, as what we talked about before about the intensiveness. Is the fact that in addition to the technical skills, there's other skills that are provided to you that you get to hone, that are just as powerful, and if not more, that allow you to take advantage of your IT training that you get here and make that exponentially more effective. You will regret a lot of things in your life. I guarantee you NetSoft is probably not going to be one of them. I look back at my life and all my achievements throughout my life, both in career, personal, and I have to say that attending NetSoft is up there, regardless of my time investment and my financial investment. My time at NetSoft and getting involved with NetSoft is right up there as one of the best things I've ever done in my life. And I'm always grateful for having the opportunity to both attend NetSoft and work with NetSoft's trainers over so many years. So, key message here, you definitely won't regret it.